You live in the most opportunity-rich era in history. You have global markets. You have remote income. You have AI tools like ChatGPT. You have free access to knowledge people once paid fortunes for. So here's the uncomfortable question. If access isn't the problem, if intelligence isn't the problem, why are so many educated people still financially average? We can't blame information anymore. We have too much of it. And I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I've realized the real bottleneck isn't knowledge, it's psychology. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You think AI is an advantage. It is, but only if your behavior is aligned. Because AI doesn't create wealth, it amplifies the operator. If you're focused, it multiplies your leverage. If you're distracted, it multiplies your chaos. We're living in what I call the amplification era. Everything scales faster now, including your weaknesses. You watch finance videos. You understand index funds. You know about asset allocation. You've heard summaries of the psychology of money. You feel informed. We mistake awareness for action all the time. We research, we plan, we optimize spreadsheets, but we delay execution. I've done this too. It feels productive to prepare. It feels responsible to wait for clarity. But clarity often arrives after movement, not before it. And the market doesn't reward preparation. It rewards participation. You think your problem might be income. It's usually not. It's consumption. And I don't just mean spending money. I mean consuming information. You scroll, you watch, you absorb. You feel like you're building momentum, but we rarely ask ourselves, how many hours did we spend consuming this week versus building something that compounds? In the millionaire fast lane, there's a powerful distinction. Consumers feed systems. Producers build them. We all start as consumers. I did too. But at some point, if we don't transition to ownership, we stay economically dependent. AI has made building easier than ever. It has also made distraction infinite. That's not a coincidence. You don't sabotage your finances dramatically. You do it subtly. You get a raise, you upgrade your life. Nothing extreme, just slightly better. And we justify it because progress feels good when it's visible. I remember the first time my income meaningfully increased. My instinct wasn't increase investments, it was increase comfort. That instinct is human. But here's what happens. When your lifestyle rises with your income, your survival cost increases. And when survival cost increases, risk tolerance drops. You become more protective, more cautious, more dependent on stability. And slowly, you build a life that requires the very job you say you want freedom from. We don't get trapped by bad decisions. We get trapped by upgraded comfort. You stay loyal. You accept modest raises. You avoid negotiation because you don't want to seem aggressive. You call it stability. We tell ourselves security is maturity. But economically, mobility often outpaces loyalty. And I'm not saying quit recklessly. I'm saying we underestimate how expensive comfort can be. Over decades, small differences in income trajectory compound massively. Not because we lacked skill, because we avoided visibility, avoided discomfort, avoided leverage. You want progress you can see. We all do. Our brains are wired for feedback. We want growth that feels immediate. But wealth grows invisibly at first. That's why most people quit. In The Psychology of Money, one of the most important ideas is this. Wealth is what you don't see. The unspent money, the untouched investments, the quiet compounding. I've experienced this shift personally. The moment I stopped chasing visible upgrades and started valuing invisible accumulation, my decision-making changed. We don't struggle because compounding doesn't work. We struggle because it's boring before it's powerful. You say you want wealth, but how do you see yourself? If you internally identify as just an employee, not entrepreneurial, bad with money, your decisions will protect that identity. We don't rise to our goals. We default to our self-image. I had to confront this myself. There were ceilings I didn't even realize I had. Not skill ceilings, identity ceilings. Once that shifts, behavior follows. You scroll and see young founders, crypto wins, luxury lifestyles. You feel behind, even if you're objectively doing fine. We compare our daily reality to someone else's highlight reel. That comparison creates impatience, and impatience destroys compounding. You take risk not from strategy, but from insecurity, and insecurity is expensive. You don't need more information. We don't need more podcasts. We don't need more productivity hacks. What we need is fewer inputs, more execution. Higher discomfort tolerance. I've realized the difference between financially average and financially free isn't intelligence, it's emotional regulation. AI will amplify whatever habits you bring to it. If you bring discipline, it multiplies results. If you bring distraction, it multiplies noise. Three years from now, you'll either say, "I'm glad I built assets when it felt boring," or "I can't believe I consumed for 3 more years." We are not limited by tools. We are limited by tolerance. Tolerance for boredom, tolerance for invisibility, tolerance for delayed validation. I'm not above this. I'm inside this process too. But once you see the psychological traps clearly, you stop blaming the era and you start adjusting your behavior inside it. That's where leverage begins. And leverage, once built, compounds quietly. We live in a time full of opportunities. AI like ChatGPT, internet, global markets, so lack of access isn't the main problem. The real problem is not intelligence, it's our mindset and habits. AI doesn't make you rich by itself, it increases whatever habits you already have. Learning feels productive, but only action brings results. We consume too much content, comfort, lifestyle upgrades, and build too little. Real wealth grows slowly and quietly, as explained in The Psychology of Money. Comparison and self-doubt stop us more than lack of skill. The key difference: less distraction, more action, and patience for long-term growth.